जय श्री माताजी। ऑनलाइन उपस्थित विश्व के सभी साधकों का सुबह के ध्यान सत्र में हार्दिक स्वागत है। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी को वंदन करके हम सब ध्यान की स्थिति में बैठते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी, आज का ध्यान सत्र शुरू करने की कृपया अनुमति प्रदान कीजिए। सामूहिक बंधन। अपना चित्त हृदय में लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी, कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे हृदय में विराजिए। श्री माताजी, कृपा कर हमारा हृदय प्रेम, करुणा और वात्सल्य से भर दीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी, आपकी कृपा में हम केवल शुद्ध आत्मा हैं। श्री माताजी, कृपा कर हमारा आत्म तत्व जागृत कीजिए, प्रकाशित कीजिए। तीन महामंत्र, तत्पश्चात श्री गणेश मंत्र।
सरस्वती आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
जय श्री माता जी। संतुलन करने हेतु अपना सीधा हाथ पृथ्वी तत्व पर रखते हैं। चित्त इड़ा नाड़ी पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के इड़ा नाड़ी पर तमोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व भूमि तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी कृपा आकर सामूहिकता की इड़ा नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। राइट हैंड गोद में, लेफ्ट हैंड आकाश की तरफ। चित्त पिंगला नाड़ी पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के पिंगला नाड़ी पर रजोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व, अतिरिक्त उष्णता, भविष्य के विचार, अहंकार आकाश तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी कृपा आकर सामूहिकता की पिंगला नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। लेफ्ट हैंड गोद में। चित्त मध्य नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी कृपा आकर हमें संतुलन दीजिए, हमें वर्तमान में रखिए। चित्त मूलाधार चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के मूलाधार चक्र पर गणेश तत्व प्रस्थापित कीजिए। कृपा कर हमें अबोध बनाइए, हमें सुबुद्धि दीजिए। चित्त मूलाधार पर लाते हैं। श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता साक्षात। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। चित्त स्वादिष्ठान चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी कृपा आकर हमें शुद्ध इच्छा शक्ति प्रदान कीजिए। श्री माता जी कृपा आकर हमें निर्मल विद्या, शुद्ध विद्या दीजिए। कृपा आकर हमारा चित्त स्थिर कीजिए। चित्त नाभि चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में हम सब संतुष्ट है, समाधानी हैं। चित्त भव सागर में लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी कृपा आकर सामूहिकता के भव सागर में गुरु तत्व प्रस्थापित कीजिए। कृपा आकर हमें स्वयं का गुरु बनाइए। श्री माता जी गुरु पद के लिए कृपा आकर हमें पात्रता दीजिए। चित्त अनाहत चक्र पर परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में हम सब सुरक्षित हैं, निर्भय है। कृपा आकर सामूहिकता के अनाहत चक्र पर श्री जगदम्बा श्री दुर्गा माता की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए। कार्यान्वित कीजिए। चित्त विशुद्धि चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी कृपा आकर हमें साक्षी भाव दीजिए, हमें सामूहिकता का आनंद दीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में हम केवल आत्मा हैं, हम निर्दोष हैं। चित्त हंस चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी कृपा आकर हमें विवेकशील बनाइए। चित्त आज्ञा चक्र पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में हमने सबको दिल से क्षमा कर दी है। हमारा किसी के भी ऊपर गुस्सा नहीं है। बैक आज्ञा चक्र। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी जाने अनजाने हमारे हाथों से जो भी गलतियां हुई हैं, इन सब के लिए कृपा आकर आप हमें क्षमा कर दीजिए। लॉर्ड्स प्रेयर।
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen.
Our Mother, who art on earth, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day your divine vibrations, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into Maya, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the Father, the children, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
चित्त विराट स्थल पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के ब्रेन में श्री विराटांगना की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए। कार्यान्वित कीजिए। चित्त सहस्रार पर परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे सहस्रार पर विराजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें निर्विचारिता प्रदान कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें निर्विचार निर्विकल्प ध्यान में स्थित कीजिए। जय श्री माता जी। इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में अमृतवाणी आत्मसात करते हैं। श्री कृष्ण पूजा 1989 पार्ट 1।
I am really over delighted that in France we have so many visitors as well as French Sahajogis for this puja. That shows the collectivity which attracts all of you from all over the places, and that you try to enjoy that collectivity. But the basis of collectivity, the foundation of collectivity is very deep. And the deep understanding can only tell you that The basis of collectivity is detached love. Love is the only way. It's not possible to have collectivity unless and until you have detached love. French have been good at so many types of love that they have been talking about. And they have written books after books, novels after novels, and have created lots of romantic and unromantic and all kinds of atmospheres to talk of love. But the pure love, as we understand in Sahajayoga, is to be now expressed by Sahajayogis among themselves. After all, we are all human beings made by one God. And that we are all Sahajayogis created by one mother. So there should be no misunderstanding between us of any kind. But we must know what sometimes makes us little different. If we can understand the problems that we face, then it would be much easier for us to see why our love becomes so attached and not so detached. Starts becoming smaller and smaller, then a person just starts loving oneself only. One of the main reasons that we have this problem is because of our conditionings. We are conditioned the way that we don't know how to love. When I see the advertisements in the West, I don't know from where the West starts and where it ends and from where the East ends. But they talk of West and East, but I don't know which is the demarcating line. Can anybody tell me that? Where do we start, East and West? Because it's one round world, you see. But somehow or other there is some line, unknown line, underlying line, which creates sometimes this East and West, two types of conditionings. So when I see some advertisements, they show about, recently I saw about James Bond, that he is free to kill and the best film for revenge. This is the advertisement. If revenge is the best way of fulfillment, then how can we love someone? So this kind of conditioning comes to us from outside. That we should not forgive anyone, we should take the revenge. And if you do not take the revenge, then you are not worthy your name. So if you cannot take the revenge, like a duel that they used to have in France quite a lot between the two persons. They would take two guns and kill each other. I mean, what a stupid idea it was. Just think of it in modern times. But it was so. So if the revenge is not taken, then it was thought to be something very sly, very low level. So a person must take revenge. History shows also the same things, that one had to take a revenge of another person who has harmed you in any way, troubled you. I think is the quality of a snake, they say. That if you step onto any snake, it follows you all his life to take the revenge. The only thing that it does all its life is to run after that person who has, by mistake, put the foot on its body. In the same way, a human endeavor I have seen in so many novels is suggested how a man gets after a person who has some way or other harmed. If we go on like this, there's no end to it. Firstly, it is absolutely absurd. For that, I will give you an example of Buddha. Very much I have been impressed by the way he said once, somebody who insulted him and abused him and said all kinds of horrible words. Then Buddha went to another village. Now this fellow felt the remorse and he went back. And said, "Sir, I'm sorry, I've said these things to you. I'm really very sorry." He said, "What?" "Well," he said, "yesterday." He said, "Yesterday is finished now. You are now with me today. So why are you talking about yesterday? It's finished." So with this kind of idea that somebody has harmed us, somebody is horrid to us, we linger on in the past. Now I am told they are celebrating the French Revolution that took place. If you ask me, there was no need to have a revolution of that kind. To kill Marie Antoinette was not necessary. If they had killed or not killed, it would have been all right. But they had to kill her. Why? Because according to them, she spent a lot of money in Versailles and created some beautiful furniture. Today only they are showing that furniture only. What else there to show in this France? As soon as you come, they say, "Have you seen her palace?" I said, "Really?" First time when I came to France, this was the first question. "You must go and see. It's impossible. You cannot get such beautiful things anywhere created. It's an impossible situation." I said, "Impossible?" "Yes, because you cannot make such nice things. She made such nice, beautiful things. She was not going to carry it with her. Now when you murdered her, then you ask me to go and see those beautiful things." What we have to learn from history, that it was stupid to kill her. What was the need to kill her? When you have taken over the government, all right, stop at that point. And then you start governing. With that revolution, you think world has improved for us? Anywhere in the world, do you think things have improved? Also, the revolution should have been to change the government, all right. But to go to that limit was not necessary. So the second conditioning that comes to us, that we cross all limits of humanity when we take revenge. They would not have been satisfied that she was still living. Oh God, we have to kill her. Of course, I don't say that somebody who has done any harm to the country, to the nation, should be allowed to go on like that. But how far you go with that is to be seen. So the wisdom of Sahajayoga is in understanding the limitations up to which you can go to express your anger, to express your revenge, so-called, on anyone whatsoever. But the best thing would be to leave it to the divine power, because everything is done by divine power. We all exist inside the divine power. We cannot think of anything else of that kind. I cannot give you an analogy how divine power works. For example, if there were no rays of the sun coming out of the sun, staying inside the sun, and all things working out, then we would have said it's something like divine power. Nothing is outside that. Everything is inside. And this divine power is the power of compassion and love, which does everything. But when we take up the responsibility, and when we decide we have to do something, and that we are something, and try to go against that divine power, we become stupid people, as we have seen. So to leave it in the hands of divine power and to be just an instrument of that divine power is the way Sahajayogi has to be. Because the compassion, the love of divine power is so great that it is wisdom, complete wisdom. A person who has no compassion cannot be wise. He could be worldly wise, but he could not be really wise. So, those who believe that they have to be very accurate must know that your accuracy will be challenged by the divine power. There has to be a lot of relaxed and a mobile temperament a person should have. For example, now I have come, suddenly, perhaps you are not told, people were not ready, absolutely in the formal manner, lined up together like a military. It's all right. Makes no difference. Makes no difference. I am in no way disturbed, no way unhappy. I was very happy to see you all. Because, after all, you all love me and I love you. It's a family. And there's nothing like being very formal about things. No formality between you and God Almighty. There cannot be. But there has to be understanding as to what we are doing. I find suddenly human beings either become extremely relaxed, extremely lazy, extremely confused. You ask them their name, they'll say 10 times, I. I said, what's your name? They say, I. I just asked your name. What, you asked me my name? Yes, your name. Ah, I see. So least bothered as to even remember your own name or to say, like a drug acting on that person. That's going too far. Another style is where too much of formalities. That supposing now mother is coming and we have to give her something and something is missing. All right, doesn't matter. After all, this is Paris. Lots of things were missing once upon a time. If there's something missing, doesn't matter. It's not so important. You should not be in tension. If you are in tension, you cannot absorb my vibrations. Or if you are lethargic, also you cannot absorb my vibrations. So you have to be in the center. Center in a receptive mood like a child is that you have to absorb the vibrations with that feeling of expectation and joy. We have to receive Mother, but not with tension that this is not done, that is not done. I see each and everything so beautifully done. So beautiful are these flowers, everything done so well. And so many ideas, I can see them so clearly. It's all expressive of not your tension but your love. So are we expressing our love or our tension? What is that we are doing? Are we trying to be tense because we are over alert, or we are trying to neglect everything because we want to escape? Between the two lies Sahajayoga. You are very anxious, very much waiting. You want to do something with your heart. And then when there is fulfillment, you can enjoy. But you are tense. I come in, what I find, you all have headaches. So first I have to tell you, remove your headaches first. Then I'll talk to you. So it has to be a very relaxed rapport between us. But relaxed never means lethargy. It doesn't mean if you are lethargic, you will be sleeping off and nothing will go onto your ears. So, what we see that our conditioning, one conditioning we have, that either we want people to be over alert or we want that they should not be at all alert. So, the underlying problem of all these things is this, that we want extremes. In our conditionings, we go to extremes. We go to extremes of this or extremes of that. If you are absolutely lethargic, lenient, disheveled, we can say absolutely confused, you are not in the center. And on the contrary, if you are very strict, like a rock of Gibraltar, and absolutely like a big Hitler-like behavior, it should be in time, everybody must have proper steps, must walk properly. That's not being Sahaj. That's not being Sahaj. Now look at these flowers. See one by one how beautiful they are. Everyone is different. even one leaf of one flower will not match with another. One petal won't match with another. All different, but so relaxed, creating beauty, giving us so much of joy. All different, placed in different manner, moving in different manner. Everyone has a different angle. But there is unison, there is oneness in them, that they all want to give us joy. But with tension you cannot give joy. I mean, if there's somebody tense, I think I better run away from that person. God knows, if he's tense, if the tension increases, he might beat you, or might throw you out, or might himself be hurt. So the tension part of it is very common in the West. And that conditioning has come because of certain lifestyles that we have had. Now there's not going to be a war of Waterloo anymore. So we can say that Waterloo war was won because they reached in time. That's not the thing. The war was won because it was to be won by the divine power. Even if they had reached late, they would have won it. Whatever happens is by the divine power. So there is no need to be tense. Then you will say, all right, then let us sit down and have a nice time. Everything will be done by the divine power. No. Divine power is going to work through your institutions, through your medium. So you have to be alert. I hope you understand what I am trying to say. That a person who is relaxed need not be a person who is lethargic, but alert. Alert you can be as well as you can be relaxed, because you are Sahajogis. You are not like other people. Other people, you take the name of the airport, and I don't know what goes wrong in their brain, suddenly they go off, they are off their heads. They go mad. Like today, we were going to the airport. Thank God everything, nobody was on the road. They must be having these hangovers, I said, last nights. And today, the streets were all right. I said, let's go easily. And after all, there's no problem. At home, everybody was thinking I'll be late. I said, I'm not going to be late. We reached there was a big queue. And nobody could get into the plane because there was such a big queue. Nobody could even book the seat. So, what was the need to be tense? And supposing you are tense, take a position. And then you do not get the plane. So what? At the most only there's one mishappening which is going to take place, is our death. That is inevitable. Because we are born, so this body has to die. That's all. The rest of it is just a joke. So, even if you are tense or not tense, makes no difference. I think sometimes people stand at the same point and start running, thinking they are going to the airport. No movement, tense. So first of all, we have to know that if we can reduce our tensions, heart will open. Heart has to open. After all, we are now in the ocean of joy and bliss. Why should we have any tension? But when we are in the ocean of joy and bliss, we are not drowning, we are swimming. So we have to swim. And this part, I think, is not understood by many people. Now we have
जय श्री माता जी। श्री आदि शक्ति मंत्र। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री आदि शक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। आरती की तैयारी करते हैं।
सबको श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्के साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्के साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आज का सामूहिक ध्यान हम आपके श्री चरणों पर समर्पित करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे विशुद्धि चक्र पर श्री राधा कृष्ण की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें प्रेम और करुणा की शक्ति से आशीर्वादित कीजिए, हमें सामूहिक मनाइए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे कुसंस्कार नष्ट कीजिए, आलोचना करना, बदले की भावना हमसे निकाल दीजिए, हमें क्षमाशील बनाइए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें संतुलन दीजिए, कृपा कर हमें सहज के मर्यादा में रखिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, हमें परमात्मा के शक्ति के अधीन रखिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें अहंकार से परे स्थित कीजिए, हमें सहज योग में प्रवीण और परिपूर्ण बनाइए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे बीच आपसी प्रेम, भाईचारा और विश्व बंधुत्व स्थापित कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपके श्री चरणों पर हमारा कोटि कोटि नमन, कोटि कोटि नमन, अनंत कोटि नमन। जय श्री माता जी। सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। जय श्री माता जी। आज के कार्यक्रम, आज शाम का ध्यान ठीक 7 बजे प्रतिष्ठान पुणे यूट्यूब चैनल पर लाइव प्रसारित होगा। आज का ध्यान सूत्र यहीं पे संपन्न होता है। अब हम सहज संगीत का आनंद लेते हैं। आज का दिन सबके लिए आनंदमय, मंगलमय हो। जय श्री माता जी।
हे माँ निर्मल माँ, हे माँ निर्मल माँ, मैं तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे दरस को तरस रहा है, तेरे दरस को तरस रहा है। ये बगिया का फूल, ये बगिया का फूल। तेरे नैनों में देख के हमने जीवन रस को जाना। तू ही है दिल में समाई, अब किसको क्या पाना। तू श्री माँ है हम तेरे बालक, तू श्री माँ है हम तेरे बालक। क्षमा कर सबकी भूल, तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे चरण की धूल। हे निर्मल माँ, हे माँ निर्मल माँ, मैं तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे चरण की धूल। तू है हृदय में, तू ही है दिल में, तू ही है तन में, तू ही है मन में। जीवन ज्योति कर दे रोशन, सागर प्यार का भर दे मन में। भूला भटका अज्ञानी मैं, भूला भटका अज्ञानी मैं। कर ले मुझको कबूल, तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे चरण की धूल। हे निर्मल माँ, है माँ निर्मल माँ, मैं तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे चरण की धूल। गंगा सागर निर्मल पानी, निर्मल नाम है अंतर्यामी। माँ की महिमा अपरंपार, माँ के गुण को गाले प्राणी। अमृत वाणी माँ के मुख से, अमृत वाणी माँ के मुख से। सुन ले माँ के फूल, तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे चरण की धूल। हे निर्मल माँ, हे माँ निर्मल माँ, मैं तेरे चरण की धूल, तेरे चरण की धूल। तेरे दरस को तरस रहा है, तेरे दरस को तरस रहा है। ये बगिया का फूल, ये बगिया का फूल, ये बगिया का फूल, ये बगिया का फूल। तू ही सबकी पालनहारी, तू ही सबकी पालनहारी, ओ जगत की माँ। निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ। तू ही सबकी पालनहारी, तू ही सबकी पालनहारी, ओ जगत की माँ। निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ। तेरी शरण में जो भी आया, ज्ञान का सागर उसने पाया। तेरी दुआ की कृपा हो जिस पर, हृदय का दीप उसने जगाया। तेरी अदा है सबसे न्यारी, तेरी अदा है सबसे न्यारी, ओ जगत की माँ। निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ, निर्मल माँ। तेरे रूप और रंग अनेक, तू है सबकी दाता। ही